Hello and happy Friday to everyone. This training is Better Sleep for Parents here in the Adventurous Parents Network. So I wanted to start this off with you wouldn't let this happen to your cell phone, so don't let it happen to you either. We so often put that emphasis of, oh my goodness, my cell phone is running out. I need to go plug it in and charge it. And then when we're hitting that point of exhaustion or overwhelm, we just try to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And at the end of the day, we can get ourselves burned out. Our health can suffer. Our mental state can suffer. So again, self-care is a priority, not a luxury. And it's really important to think about, everybody uses that oxygen mask analogy about on a plane, put your oxygen mask on first, so that way you can help others. It's the most overused analogy out there, but it really does hit the nail on the head, especially for parents. It's easy to put our kids first and work first and everybody else first, but we have to take care of ourselves so that way we're the best for everybody else. So sleep should be a full 1/3 of your life. So 8 hours a day, and that is your chance for your body to recharge, restore itself, and renew. So that way you're fresh the next day. So when it comes to quality of sleep, and we're going to get into quality a little bit later, there's lots of tactics here, but I want to cover quantity first, because time is the only finite resource. So things need to exist in distance, time, and space. So as far as quantity goes, we want to be somewhere between 6 and 10 hours of sleep. Everybody's different with how much they exactly need, and that can change based on activity level as well. But we want to focus on that uninterrupted sleep so we can really get into that deep sleep. A lot of the studies are showing 7 to 9 is the best recommendation for most human beings, with 8 being in the middle of the road. So in order to get that quality and quantity, we want to limit falling asleep on the couch. It's easy to, maybe for some people, to doze off on the couch and then you get a crank in your neck, or it interrupts your sleep pattern. You want to be in the bed. You really want to avoid that excessive light exposure, an hour and a half to 2 hours before bed. We'll talk a little bit later about setting some alarms on your phone to keep you accountable there. And just exposure to electronic or any work-related things that really gets your head going or your stress levels going. We live in a very unique time in 2019 where we're never disconnected from clients. We can get texts at 9 o'clock at night or emails at 2 o'clock in the morning from people all over the world. So we have to set up some healthy boundaries to take care of ourselves. And we want to replace those things with, again, falling asleep in the bed, in the bedroom. Most people enjoy a cooler temperature, and physiologically that is better for our sleep. It allows us to get into that deeper sleep at a subconscious level. Reading and journaling is great in bed. We do want those to be physical, so not the big iPad to read on, or YouTube or Netflix. You want to pick up a real book. I know one person on this call at least is a big Harry Potter fan, so hours and hours and hours worth of reading there, and just generally spending some quality time together in bed. One thing I wanted to touch on for everybody in this group is to stop glorifying exhaustion, where you see a lot of people proud of, I got 5 hours of sleep last night, or as soon as I have 6 cups of coffee, I'll be fine, or I just need some red wine tonight to fall asleep. We have to stop glorifying that. And a lot of people try to wear their exhaustion like a badge of honor. So these are the people that need sleeping pills and need coffee in the morning, and they need this and they need that, and become so dependent on these external things versus reorganizing their calendar a little bit. And for some people, that medically is necessary to have a little bit of help. But for the most part, a lot of the people that I've worked with are really in that camp of trying to wear it with a badge of honor, of constantly being tired and constantly having the bags under their eyes, which hydration is a different topic we'll bring up as well. But we really have to get away from that, because Dunkin' Donuts has millions of dollars in their marketing budget to say, America runs on Dunkin', it's okay to be exhausted. But at the end of the day, it really isn't. So one thing I wanted to share with everybody, this is something we do in our house, is to set some cell phone alarms. So at the end of the day, I have some alarms that go off later in the evening. So if I have to get up at 7 a.m. to get those full 8 hours, I need to be asleep at 11. So I have 1 half-hour alarm. So half hour before I need to be asleep, an alarm goes off on my phone to get into bed and start to really relax. And this is not a alarm. This is a more calm alarm where we want to be winding down. 30 minutes before that, or 60 minutes before you fall asleep, I have an alarm that goes off that says relax and wind down. So that gives me that full hour. So that's where we can do any reading or journaling, or even putting the laundry away is another way to kind of close things out in our mind, close the tabs, if you will, the browser tabs. And then 2 hours before bed is when we should really be getting away from the screens. So the addictive cell phones that are designed to be, social media slot machines, where it's constantly keeping us engaged. Let's set a healthy boundary there where, say, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, we really start to get away from those. And then creating a proper environment for sleep. Some people call this creating the bat cave with the blackout curtains. How many people get an awesome night's sleep in like a hotel room because those aggressive curtains are like an inch thick and it just totally blocks out the world? And really protect the bedroom for a place for rest and for fun, and try to avoid money talk in the bedroom, and try to avoid having your phone in the bed with you as well. One of the most common things that couples fight about is money, so don't even bring that into the bedroom. It's important to communicate, but protect time for that as well somewhere else. Who knows the 3 most dangerous words when it comes to your sleep quality and quantity? One more episode. Never in human history have we been faced with this many options when it comes to access to entertainment. Coming from somebody that used to work at Blockbuster, when you had to drive to a store, pick out a movie, watch it for 90 minutes, and then rush to return it a couple days later, versus click, and you have seasons upon seasons and movies and just massive stories that can go for hours and hours and hours. Stranger Things is a good example of this, looking at you, Lori, and where it's easy to do that. One more episode, one more episode, one more episode. We only fell into that twice, season 2 and season 3. But for the most part, we are pretty good about getting the TV off at the end of the night. It's to the point now, again, where we're just clicking. We don't even have to get up from the couch to put in the next disc. So eating and drinking are heavily related to sleep as well. So for me and a lot of people that I work with, I'm finding that hydrating heavy early in the morning, especially if you haven't had any water intake for 8 hours, is really vital. That'll just help you wake up, help you feel energized all throughout the day. And then kind of tapering that down by the end of the day is really important. So that way I'm not waking up 6 times to go to the bathroom, and also not eating a huge meal right before bed. So it's usually about 2 hours before I fall asleep. That's kind of the last time I'm eating. Also helpful to have that cut off if you are having too many Halloween treats around the house. So to say, I'm done eating at 8 o'clock, or I'm done eating at 8:30, set yourself that healthy boundary. Weighted blankets is a big topic of discussion right now, and they are very helpful. Some people love that concept. It feels like you're getting a huge hug from a Ryan-sized person, but if Ryan weighed 15 pounds, and it kind of drapes across your whole body, and it's supposed to just kind of resemble of, when we're in the womb. So it is very comforting. We have a couple in our house, and we use them mostly in the winter because they can get very hot in the summertime, but we're coming up on the holidays and the weather's getting colder. So weighted blankets could be something to try if you're having interrupted sleep or trouble falling asleep. Sundays is something that we do in our house as well. I wanted to share with everybody because this is all parents with young kids or kids in general. So something I started a couple years ago to make sure my wife gets really quality sleep every Sunday is to get up before her, take the monitor out of the room, and take my son out to breakfast. And we do this quite a bit. We fell off a little bit in the summer, but we were doing stuff together. So now that we're getting back into the rhythm of the fall and the winter, pretty much every Sunday we go out and try a new diner or somewhere to eat, and she can sleep in as late as she would like. So we call that Sundays. So a bedtime routine for the kids is really important as well, whether it's one of those alarms on the phone where it's like, okay, the screens are done now, we're done with eating, and try to have a wind down routine for them so it's not just chaos and Legos and Nerf guns, and then it's like, oh, and go to bed. And no wonder they can't fall right asleep. So figuring out what works for your kids, if they're old enough where you could talk with them about developing a routine together, or say, these are the 3 or 4 things we're going to focus on. We're doing our teeth, and they get into that rhythm of starting to wind down. Kids really like structure. They benefit from this. I'm sure they benefit from the structure. They don't always love it, but they definitely benefit from it. and then that benefit spills over to the parents as well. There's an app on the phone called Calm, and that's been voted again and again and again as an incredibly useful app. It's heavily downloaded, highly reviewed. So if you're looking for something to kind of calm you down at the end of the day, these are wonderful, kind of guided. There's some meditations in there. There's some reflection exercises, just some calm music. One of my favorite things is the Lord of the Rings, like piano cover. It's very soothing. Sound machines and fans are helpful as well to kind of have that droning noise if you live in an area where there's fire trucks going by or police cars or the garbage truck super early in the morning. Having that constant drone is really helpful. This is something we got for our son, and now we have one in our room, and I've become so dependent on it. I have one for traveling as well. Fans also help with that temperature regulation and airflow. So this is something that I saw in a different presentation of Wake Me Up When You're Ready to Do the Chores. And that's another way, if your kids are a little bit older, to let you sleep in on a Saturday or a Sunday. Having an evening routine is really important as well, whether it's setting up your lunchbox for tomorrow or just starting to wind down. Got a couple chats here. Let me make sure everything is okay. Yes, she loves the Sundays. And Stephanie's husband's snoring puts her to sleep. Okay, I saw on that log. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. I apparently grew out of my snoring, but Lori can tell you if that's not accurate. So an important evening routine would be maybe getting your water bottles ready for the next day. Also helps just that rhythm of the next day of just feeling fully prepared when you wake up in the morning. Maybe it's getting your kids' lunches together or straightening up downstairs, maybe packing lunch backpacks. So having an evening routine helps everybody. Again, you benefit from that structure. And a morning routine is really important as well. This doesn't have to be 3 hours of meditation and exercise and avocado toast. This can be something as simple as walking out on the front porch, taking one big breath in through the nose, no matter what temperature it is outside. This is something that I do, even when it's 3 degrees, and that really wakes me up. And then I go focus on my hydration. I have a nice big water container first thing in the morning. I'm gonna make myself a healthy breakfast, finish packing my lunch for the day, and go for a couple walks around the block. So even if it's 5-10 minutes, it's at least something. It starts my digestion, it gets my energy going, and I do that all before anybody else, except for the cat, is awake in the house. So that is some Ryan time. So really helpful. So again, I hope everybody pulled some quality content for their quality and quantity when it comes to sleep. This will be recorded and put into the group. If anybody has any questions, feel free to comment upon that. And the last thing I want to leave you with, we are coming up on the holidays, and this is a benefit, especially for couples. Here's an idea of something you can get as a present for your spouse. This was actually my wedding present to Lori back in 2014, and we use it quite a bit. It's really helpful to relax at the end of the day and or stretch. You know, I do my back exercises on there. So it's nice to have. It can collapse, you know, really small and go in the closet. We have a bedroom where we can leave ours up and running, so it's always there. So Christmas is coming up. This could be some random, interesting gift for you. Well, thank you very much, everybody. This was fun. Hope you get some better sleep from this. And again, we want to design everything so it's realistic and you have good night's sleep most nights of the week. We understand you're parents. I'm a parent. There will be chaos, but 80% is perfect. Plan on that 20% of chaos, and you're going to be a lot happier. Get away from that perfection paralysis. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you soon.